Hello everyone, this is Kosher Bacon. Welcome back to yet another Let's Talk. Another day, another Let's Talk, yes. Wow, losing frames. So, today's topic is going to be sort of a continuation of the last one as far as game quality, but in this one I'm going to look specifically at a game that I'm really looking forward to in the future. Elder Scrolls 6, whatever it ends up being. So, I am not a huge Elder Scrolls nerd, lore, junkie, whatever you want to call it. Like, I've played Skyrim, but a lot of people have. I've never played Oblivion, never played Morrowind. I'm not a huge pen and paper role player either. Oh yeah, that's right, that thing. What I'm currently going to do is I'm going to walk over to Fort Dawnguard, Riften, from up over here in Windhelm. And I'm going to walk it, I'm not going to fast travel. I got sick and tired of waiting for what's-his-name to give me a message, so I'm just going to walk and pass some time that way. We might see some sights, talk to some people. Whatever happens, happens. And I figured while I'm walking, I'll talk. So, a brief history. I don't know about the first two Elder Scrolls games, but Elder Scrolls, Morrowind, then Oblivion, then Skyrim is what I'm going to be focusing on here, and predictions and thoughts and hopes of what's going to be in Elder Scrolls 6. So, if you look at the mechanics of Morrowind, and then Oblivion, and then Skyrim, you'll notice that each game, it gets a little bit dumber, some people would say, easier, other people would say. Personally, I'd like to be more of the first group, but at the end of the day, I'm a pretty casual gamer. I'm not very hardcore about it. So I would probably say that things have gotten easier versus dumber. I don't know if this is the right path. Wait a minute. I'm just walking to Riften. There are no right paths. So anyway, what I'm saying is that the mechanics, the in-game mechanics, have become a lot more simplified, you could say. Or easy to grasp, you could also say. Die, goat. Fine, you can live. Just kidding! So what do I mean by that? Well, let's look at, here. Leveling up is one example. I don't know how leveling up worked with Morrowind. I'm guessing it's like one of those traditional RPGs, like that other one I'm considering, where you put your points into your different stats. You had intelligence, constitution, trying to think what other stats there are. You had, what's the one that allows you to do bluffing and, why am I spinning that? I shouldn't be. Trying to remember what else it was called. Charisma, that's the one. So you had, I think there are 8 of them. I don't know them off the top of my head, obviously. Strength is probably one. And you had these aspects, and you would define your character by the different levels of these aspects. So, for example, your Dumb as Rocks Nord Barbarian would probably have a very high strength and constitution level, but wisdom and intelligence might be rather low, and he might not be very charismatic. I don't know, it depends. And obviously, you don't stereotype always, like, something I've liked to do with some of my characters is I have, hey Giant, I have in Skyrim a Altmer, a mage-like character that has like boost extra magicka and they recharge magicka. And I decide with this guy, you know what, I'm going to subvert the typical character tropes. Well, not character tropes, but race tropes, I guess, with this guy. I made him into a paladin. I made him into a priest of Arcade who believes that he is sent by the divine god of death to bring death upon anyone he deems unworthy. Unworthy of life, that is. Is one of them to me? I know he's got like a note on him that you could pickpocket or steal off his corpse if you wanted to. That points you at a dungeon, but I've already seen all the dungeons, I think. I've probably missed one or two that I've never seen before. Maybe one day we'll bump into those randomly, maybe not. Anyways. So, you would define your character with those aspects. And that was a good way of branching out. At the end of the day, you really had to either branch into being a mage, or a warrior, or a thief. Warriors would have higher constitution and strength, mages would have better intelligence, better wisdom, and you would have your charisma, I'm not sure what it would go into for stealth, probably dexterity, for your rogues. And your rogues would steal things and be sly talkers, your mages would be masters of the arcane, and your warriors would be people who hit things with sharp objects enough times. There's a dragon. Probably over there. Do I want to fight a dragon? Nah. I'm just walking to Riften. Hey. Relax, I'm an Imperial. I actually supported the Imperials, although I'm staying out of the Civil War with this character. Just RP reasons. Someone fire an arrow at me? So, with, I believe that's how you leveled up with Morrowind. Every time you leveled up, you got more of those points to spend. It was a proper RPG in that sense. Sorry, bears. That was weird. I couldn't use my stuff. So anyway, that was Morrowind. I think in Oblivion it was something similar. However, when you leveled up, you didn't get to pick your stats. Whatever had increased since the last time you leveled up, for example, one-handed, let's say, to put it in Skyrim terms, although I think there were different skills for the different weapon types, different skills for axes, swords, maces. So I think with that, whatever you had leveled up since last time got a boost. So that's kind of a mixed curse over there, because if you had leveled up from level 8 to 9 only, well, let's pretend that we're in Skyrim and we spam Muffle. I have it around here somewhere. Like, the cool thing about Muffle is that in Skyrim is that you don't need to be around enemies to use it, so you could just spam cast this over and over and over and over, and you'd level up. This isn't a good thing to do in Skyrim for reasons I'll explain in just a little bit, but I think if you did something equivalent to that in Morrowind, not Morrowind, in Oblivion, and it doesn't even have to be magic. I think athletics was a skill, so just running around, jumping, raised your athletics. So they got a boost, but your other skills didn't. And because stuff leveled up with you, if you just ran around a whole bunch and didn't do anything, you'd have higher athletic skill, but enemies would be stronger in various different aspects, making it harder for you. A lot of people really didn't like the Oblivion leveling system for that reason. I think Skyrim does it better, where when you hit something with your sword enough time, you level up one-handed or two-handed, and then you can choose to put perks into it. However, it also gets a slight passive boost, I believe, just from having a higher level. I know, like, lockpicking does, even though I have no perks in it. Master locks are easier than when I was at level 15. Hi there. And then you have your perk points, which allow you to perform various feats. And granted, I'm using mods. Mods definitely help. But, yeah, that's sort of how the leveling system works. And on one hand, it has gotten easier to use and possibly better, simply because of the fact that now you have the option to choose what you level up. But on the other hand, it does feel dumber. It does feel simpler. Like, there should be some thought that you have to put into it, right? I'm not crazy for thinking that. So what else I want to talk about? So in Elder Scrolls 6, I'm curious to see how they're going to do leveling. I do like how in Skyrim you get to pick your perks, and how you won't get stuck. Well, hold on. There is something that you can do in Skyrim. Say you do what I was talking about earlier, where you spam Muffle a bunch. Now you're leveled up, you went from level 10 to level 20, however, only your illusion magic leveled up, and if you're legendary and get to keep leveling after you've hit 100 with it, which won't happen for too long if you keep spam casting Muffle, then you're going to be a lot weaker, because your one-handed skill is going to still be low, and you won't be able to put the perk points that you earned into anything with that, because you kept spamming Muffle, so you only leveled up Illusion. So I'm very curious to see how Bethesda is going to handle this, because I feel like there's some balance between what happens with Oblivion and Morrowind, and... oh hey, this is new. This must be from Immersive Patrols, plus the capes that I got from the capes.
Yes.
Is there a dialogue for you?
Need something?
No. Alright, that's cool. I never actually have run into an Immersive Patrol since I installed the thing, I don't think. I was thinking about downloading another mod, Legacy of the Dragonborn, just to have like a trophy room for all my stuff and some of the other cool things that it does, but given how late this character, for example, is, I might not do it, and I probably won't be doing another Skyrim run for a while. Right now I'm just sort of finishing up with this character, in a way. Also, I think that Skyrim makes an excellent walking simulator. I know I said this before, but I'll say it again. Skyrim is an excellent walking simulator, so you can sort of just do whatever you want. Just walk around while talking, which is what I'm doing here. One thing I really hope that they try and focus on with Elder Scrolls 6, combat. Because combat right now is like this. If you're a warrior, you can have your battle axe, right? And you go ahead and you swing it to the left, and you swing it to the right. and you do a power attack, and you like jump forward or you sprint with it. Why am I not draining stamina? Like that. And that's about it. You can block, you can even hit while blocking, but that's honestly it. Okay, say you've got a sword, or dual wielding. This is the extent of the attacks you can do. That's not a lot of attacks, and your swords won't be cool glowy things like this, because this is a mage's weapon, mage bond blade, plus the spelled strike where it shoots out lightning when I strike at something with a power attack is, oh hey, there's a battle going on there. I wonder what mod adds that. Like, I know there's a Civil War Reborn mod where the forts are actually sometimes under attack. Whatever, I don't care. I'm just passing through, guys. Oh, that's cool. Interesting, I didn't know they could have mages. See, this is cool. This is more immersive. Like, if this was in base Skyrim, that would be so much better, I feel. But Bethesda didn't add it, and in fact, Civil War is pretty bad. I also like how they left the guy just sort of sitting there, so they'll always keep going down and then getting back up. There's even a leader. I wonder what happens if you kill the leader. But yeah, now this guy's back up firing bows. So that's cool. So yeah, stuff like that, honestly. Like, Skyrim is a huge world, but it feels so empty, you know? Like, other than the 5 cave bears I've had to fight walking along this road, I've run into one patrol from a mod, another patrol that's in vanilla, and then that. It feels very empty. It feels like there should be more people here. And to be fair, there is technical limitations. Like, cities don't feel like cities because they're only 14 buildings, because you can't have a city the full size of one that's on real-life Earth and still have it be, like, still have it feel full. So this other RPG I was playing, the first area you spend some time at, there's this city, there's a ton of people there, they all have like one line of dialogue, and to be fair, it does seem to have more unique voice actors than Skyrim ever did. Oh hey, White Riften, nice. But even so, it's very bland. At least with Skyrim, there are more options to NPCs, the NPCs look better than that game, although that game is a bit older. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we want a more immersive world. I'd actually be fine with a smaller map, less dungeons, if they felt more fleshed out. Skyrim is a huge game, like I just said. However, I would describe it as vast as an ocean, but as shallow as a puddle. Like, once you get down to it, everything feels sort of the same. There's not a whole ton of depth. Combat feels bland. Magic is pretty bland, honestly. Magic really needs, like, a reworking, I think, for Elder Scrolls 6. Stealth is ridiculously overpowered, but to be fair, it's stealth. I don't know. Like, it can be very easy to break the game in so many different ways. A stealthy, illusionary mage who uses bound bow is basically the most overpowered thing in this game, because enemies will never see you, and if they do, you can calm them. And everyone knows Sneak Archer is basically the meta for playing Skyrim. The meta, in case you didn't know, it's basically the... Everyone agrees it's basically the best thing you can do in games, so everyone does it. Or I specifically try to avoid it. I don't let my characters use bows unless I'm specifically going for a bow and archer guy, and then I'll do some other way to try and handicap myself to keep things interesting. I did try and go for a legendary run with a bow and arrow guy, but I kind of got sick of enemies taking forever to die, and I died in 2 hits. So yeah, that's a thing. Really? That's another thing. Oh wow, Absolute Power isn't ready. My bad. So another issue I have. This event here. I am the Dragonborn, Archmage at the College of Winterhold. I've defeated Miraak, Alduin, Harkon. I've gone to the Forgotten City, although that's a modded thing. Point is that my name should be known. The ground I tread upon should tremble at my footstep. And this random guy just jumps out and attacks. Never should have come here. Like, no, surely you have heard of me. I should be famous. And if I joined the Companions, which I did. Oh, I've never heard of this person before. They don't look tough. And granted, I'm a mage, so I actually don't look tough, I imagine. I wouldn't say that this woman looks tough, but I don't know. The point is that, it doesn't feel as immersive. It just kind of breaks the immersion, if you will. Because a game doesn't need to have super graphics or a gigantic world to feel immersive. It needs to be immersive. It needs to... Your actions need to have consequences and effects that are noticeable. More than just a couple lines of dialogue. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool when you see it, but it's pretty obvious when it's missing. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm just going to turn in this quest over here at Fort Dawnguard. Oh, well. Froze for a second there. See, I feel like magic could use a boost as well. Magic feels pretty weak most of the time. It's only because I'm using mods, which I shouldn't have to for magic to feel good. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, maybe I'm underthinking it. But in your... What I would assume would happen in your pen and paper RPG, your mage is sort of a glass cannon. They can have tremendous destructive abilities, but they stay out of the thick of combat because they're squishy. They wear mage robes that augment their magical prowess, but provide almost no protection. Your mage will heal you up. Hey, dude. Yes? I don't remember seeing you. Is he a vanilla character? He might be modded. So yeah, magic really does feel like it could use some boosts in Elder Scrolls 6. I would like more varied combat. I'd like combat to feel better, because it doesn't really feel different when you're swinging a sword at someone or a hammer. Like, one's slower and does more damage, their health bar goes more, but it doesn't feel more meaty. You don't feel that thump when you hit someone with a warhammer versus the slice as you stab someone with your bound blades. So that could also really use a boost. And again, I'm not really sure how I'd implement any of this. It's just sort of ramblings of someone who's hopeful. At the end of the day, Bethesda has released a lot of cool titles, buggy titles, titles that could have been done better, but at the end of the day they are really cool, and I've enjoyed playing Skyrim at least. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to picking up all this gold. I love that sound.
May your next fight bring you victory.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6, see what we can do next. Anyways.
Let's see what you've got. I see. Similar to the explode here. Assuming you have the smithing skills, you should be able to make this yourself at Dunmar's Forge. Either way, I'll have some for sale soon. Friends like you are hard to find.
Yeah, you're definitely a modded character. You maybe. There's a lot of people here now, actually. Hey, Dexion. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble. I'll see you again in the next one.